How you doing today, guys? Today what I'm doing is I'm starting to clean up my wood splitting area so I can start splitting for next season. And I thought what I'd do, as long as we're out here, is just show you some new ways I've come up with to store firewood. So if you'd like to see that, stick around. What I've been doing when I'm using the splitter is I've been keeping two pots nearby. I keep a smaller pot where I keep all the small splits that fall off the log as I'm splitting, and these are great for starting fires next year. And then I'll keep a bigger pot like this one here, which I'll use for all the pieces of bark that fall off the log, and I'll throw them in here. Now, I'm not going to get all the junk as I'm splitting, but anything that just falls off right away that's just easy to grab, it just saves me the step of having to bend over and pick it up off the ground. A few years ago, I did a mulching job where I ended up with about 20 of these bags, these extra cedar bark mulch bags. So what I do is I'll go ahead and take all this extra stuff and put it in the bag. And then I'll go ahead and store this bag in a nice dry place. And all these small splits are just perfect for getting a fire going, or if your fire's dying down and you want some heat quick, I'll go ahead and throw these on. It's real nice. I leave them out in the open for a while so they can dry out, and then once they're dried out, I'll put them in these bags. And I won't seal the bags. I'll let the moisture continue to weep out of the bags, but I will make sure that there's no way that water's going to drip in. If you've been following my channel, you've probably seen one of the videos where I talk about building a Holshausen. And the nice thing about a Holshausen is you can store all these odd shaped pieces in the middle of the pile. Now, these pieces are the wrong size to be used to start the fire, but they're perfect when you don't want to throw off a lot of heat with the fire. You just use these guys like in the spring and the fall to build nice cool temperature fires. So I was at one of my suppliers last year, and they had these bags here. And what they use these bags for is you can hook them on a set of pallet forks. So you hook these on a set of pallet forks, and then they fill this bag with stone dust if they have a small delivery to make. And I saw this bag and I thought that, geez, this is just the neatest thing, because this is the perfect size for all these odd shaped pieces. So what we're going to do is bring the Bobcat over, see if we can load this bag up and see how this works for storing those odd shaped pieces. Now, the one caveat with this bag is the directions say that you have to store it out of direct sunlight, because direct sunlight is going to end up degrading the fabric in it. I know they make different grades of bags. This bag was, I think it was like $15. It was fairly cheap, and I just really like the simplicity of it. And if I can find a place where I can just load this up with some wood, let it sit off the ground so it doesn't rot, cover it with a tarp loosely so it can still breathe and dry out, and then come fall, the early days of fall, I'll just pick this whole bag up, stick it in the garage, and be good to go for the first month or so of fires. I fell a little bit short of what I was hoping to get in here, but let's see what happens when we turn the machine on and lift it up a little bit. Maybe it'll all slide down. I did manage to get the rest of that pile on top of this wood, so all that wood that was sitting over by the log splitter is now right here in this nice, neat little package. I did put the tarp on top, but I'm a little bit nervous about the tarp because there's no way for this wood to breathe, you know, and that's one thing with this style of storage in the Holshausen is the Holshausen can breathe. So if I can think of something better to give this wood a way to breathe, maybe I'll get a different tarp, a smaller tarp, and cut some holes in it somehow. But I don't like this. I get the feeling that this is just going to have the wood sitting here and rotting all season, not drying. And then the other thing is, in this spot, I've seen red squirrels, I've seen chipmunks, and I've seen mice. So this is a good spot to test whether they're going to start nibbling on that bag and using it for nesting materials. And maybe I'll come back in the fall, pick it up with the machine, and it'll all just fall out because the bag is like Swiss cheese. We'll find out. But what I wanted to do, guys, was just kind of stimulate you, you know, get you thinking about different ways to store firewood. So if you've got some extra mulch bags and those small pieces of wood, you know, give it a try storing them in that. And then, you know, maybe you want to go ahead and try using this big bulk material bag. Another option I thought about was going on something like Amazon and getting burlap sacks. You know, sometimes at the nurseries they'll use burlap sacks to wrap the trunks of trees. Why not use burlap sacks to wrap the really small pieces you're going to use for starting the wood, where they would actually breathe a lot better. And then the final thing I was thinking about, and I have to fire up at the chainsaw mill, is to just, you know, get some rough cut lumber from my mill. I can mill as much as I want and just make some 4x4 pallets, 4x4x4, and just use those pallets to put all these odd sized pieces in, and then again just tarp the top or something. So, you know, in the end, I just wanted to get you guys thinking outside the box for firewood storage. Thanks a lot for watching, guys, and we'll see you soon. Have a great day.